This is my Power Armor Lex Luthor that I've been making. I've been showing it for a few weeks now. I've been waiting on some paint to come in so I can finally put some paint down. I love this figure so much. It came out so great. Base body is a Warhammer 40K body. I put some primer on it just because I wanted to see it not be blue. So this is just the footage of me prepping it. I didn't really know where to put this in this video besides after I said I primed it because I didn't want to see it blue. But you can see in the video I have some sculpt on there. I used the sculpt to cover up some holes because the chest had an emblem and a grenade and I cut all that off, so I had to fill in the holes. I'm not sure what grit that sanding block is. I've had it for so long. I'll just use it to like lightly sand stuff and it works out pretty well. But this is 5 times speed because it was an 18-minute video and I didn't want to make this a 20-minute video, so I just sped it up. It's literally just me sanding. You'll see the X-Acto come in. I'm just cutting stuff, trimming stuff, making stuff look a little more flush as I'm sanding. Switched to sandpaper because the sanding block wasn't taking enough of the sculpt off, and I'm going back over it just to make it smooth. This is all I did before I primed it. I just wanted to have something to primer to grab onto. I had initially weathered this Warhammer body, so I had wanted to sand off all that like clear coat and weathering I put on it anyway. This is not a step I normally do, but like I said, I wanted to take all that stuff off before just so the primer would have something to stick to. Also, I wanted to see if I was going to have any joint rub. Priming a base figure is a really good way to test for joint rub. Sometimes you might not have it and you might not have to prep joints. In this case, I didn't have to prep any joints besides the sanding you see on the video. But yeah, just enjoy this 5 times speed of me sanding. A bunch of 3D prints. I 3D printed these shoulders, these gauntlet pieces, these leg pieces, these hands are 3D printed, the collar also 3D printed. Also, this chest reactor and these straps are 3D printed. I used an Elegoo Saturn, and these took, it was a lot of guesswork. I do have a 3D scan of a Warhammer body, but it is not the same size as this. Everything I put on that to size came out bigger. A lot of it paid off. A lot of wasted resin and prints, but that's neither here nor there. I did throw some sculpt in there because when I glued this collar down, there was a lot of gaps, and I just wanted to fill in the gaps. The collar too was another thing. Like, I had this collar, it was supposed to be like these 2 fins going up, and it broke. It was really thin and it broke when I glued it in. This was originally a shoulder piece I glued in. That's why I like customizing. I'm telling you, you really have free range to do whatever you want. It's such a fun hobby to have. I don't know about the people. Some of the people is a little wishy-washy, a little funny style, but customizing in a whole is very fun. These hands are some McFarlane-sized hands. I scaled them up a bit just so they fit on the peg. That's the same Warhammer peg. I put a little super glue on it and just was able to get those hands to stay on. This figure originally came with like a trigger hand and an open hand. I didn't like those. I wanted some fist, so I went that route. Looks great. I like this with primer, but I'm going to paint this using these Monument Hobbies paints. I'm going to test these out on this body. Just got these in from Monument Hobbies, so thank you for sending those over. Can't wait to take a look at them. Articulation remains the same. I didn't change anything. I didn't prep any joints. I just primed it, and I feel like priming is a good way to test for a joint rub, and it really worked on this figure because there's none. So starting with the head, this is the basic articulation from the head. I didn't do anything. You get all the expression you would need from a double ball peg. I like that so much. That's one of the things McFarlane does right. Up that far, down that far, you do get some left and right. There's a little gap back there, but it doesn't bother me. You probably won't see it most times, like right there. The way I did these shoulders, I wanted to keep the original articulation. So the base figure shoulders had these big ass shoulders and they had double ball pegs in there. I cut the joint off, glued it in here, and I glued the peg in the hole just to be able to keep it the same. So these will move, they'll rotate. This one is a little bit better. So this one, they'll rotate and they'll get out the way. Now you can see I can still bend the arm up, even though it's not that much. You can still get the arm bent up there. Did that shit rub? It did. Yeah, you can still get the arm bent up, so he didn't lose too much. I don't think it went too much further on the base figure. You do get double jointed elbows. A pretty good bend. That's pretty good for such a big figure. It also has bicep swivel, so there's that. And you can see there's no joint rub. So I know when I paint this a second time, the joints won't rub right there. The wrist is the typical McFarlane, like telescopic. I call it telescopic. I don't know the right word for it. It's a little stiff. I don't want to break the print. I already broke one of these. I don't want to do it again. For the torso, it has the same setup. I didn't modify anything. So you get all of that with the top and the bottom. It'll go that far forward, that far back, really far back, which I don't mind because he's supposed to be in a suit that flies. So that's okay. Usually I don't like when figures go further back than forward, but I'll give it a pass. It will do a 360. Nothing's hindered, nothing's stopping it. The hips go up that far, which again, I don't mind because he's a guy in armor. You do get a little bit of swivel in there. You get, the ring just fell out, don't mind it. You get double jointed knees about that far, guy in armor. That's not bad. No ankle swivel, but you do get a little swivel at the knee. Weirdest swivel I've ever seen. The ankles go down that far, they go up that far, you get a toe pivot, and you do get ankle rocker. Like I said, I love the way this is coming out. Oh, I did also add these rocket boosters to the feet because Lex flies in this armor. And I put these rings just so you wouldn't see the ugly Dremel job I did. I think it covers it up pretty good. I can't wait to paint this and glue that in and do what I gotta do. This figure is gonna be so fire. All I have to do is execute on the paint and we'll have something great. Superman Rogues Gallery customs usually come out pretty good, so I'm excited for this. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'm out.